Let's take a look at some statistical questions together. In each of these practice problems, we're going to go ahead and see if these are statistical questions or not. And if it's not a statistical question, we are going to write a similar question that is a statistical question. For number one, our question is how old are each of the students at school? Because we can collect data on each of the ages for the students at this school, and their ages would vary, we would say yes. Because this is a question where we can collect varying data on the sample of each of the students' ages, we can say this is a statistical question. Now for number two, we have the question, how tall is Mr. Lee? This particular question does not allow for any varying responses, so we're going to say no. Because there is only one possible answer for this question, this is not a statistical question. Now how could we rewrite this question so it is a statistical question? One possible example could be what was Mr. Lee's height in each of his teenage years, because we could find the height of each of the years when he was 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 19, and there would be varying data that we could collect. Here's number three. For number three, the question is what types of trees are located on Princeton Middle School's property? Well, there are some different types of trees on Princeton Middle School's property. There's only going to be one set list of each of these types of trees. Based on that, we're going to say no, this is not a statistical question. To rewrite this question so it is statistical, we could write, how many of each type of tree is on Princeton Middle School's property? This type of question allows us to collect some data on the different types of trees and how many of each one there are. For number four, we have the question, how fast can Adam get to class? This right here is not a statistical question. Let's see if we can reword this question so that we can collect some data on this. Rewording this question so we can collect some data, we could say, how fast can Adam get to science class each day of the week? Because we could record down a time for Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, this would then be statistical. Here's number five. In number five, the question is, what are the heights of all the students in Mr. Lee's Paul's class? Since we can collect data on each of the different heights of the students in this class, we can say yes, this is a statistical question. Moving on to number six, the question is, how many slices of pizza did Sean eat today? Because there's only one answer to this question and we can't collect any data on it, we're going to say no, this is not a statistical question. However, rewording this into a statistical question, we could write, how many seconds does it take Sean to eat each slice of pizza? Because each slice of pizza, we could record the amount of time it takes him to eat, we could collect some data on that, and it would be a statistical question. For number seven, we have this question of how many empanadas did each of the sixth grader students eat this year? Because we can collect data on the number of empanadas each of the students ate in this past year, we can say yes, this is a statistical question. Finally, for number eight, the question is how much does Benny the dog weigh? Because this question does not allow for a variation of data collection, we're going to go ahead and say no, this is not a statistical question. Rewriting this as a statistical question, we can ask, how much does each of the dogs at the Cool Dog Park weigh? Since this question is asking about the weight of different types of dogs, we could collect some data on that, and this would now be a statistical question. Alright, so there you have 8 different practice problems on just identifying whether questions are statistical or not, and hopefully you know the difference of where we can collect data and when we only have one answer, and so that's kind of the difference between what a statistical question versus a non-statistical question is. If you found the video helpful, please consider giving it a thumbs up, and as always, keep up the great work that you're already doing, and I'll see you in the next one.